ancestors from this country have left behind their footprints and walked all over this land.
These are the voices of the traditional owners in the Juukan Gorge in Western Australia's Pilbara region. It's a treasure trove of ancient Indigenous culture.
You see that there, the artefacts for making a spear, making shield and all that, you know.
People have been living here for the last 43,000 years.
But it's also on the edge of a multi-billion-dollar iron ore mine owned by Rio Tinto. This documentary was funded by the mining giant in 2015 as a way for owners to preserve the history of the site.
Rio Tinto is planning to expand their mine and this place will be lost.
We Guruma people are fighting for our country to protect and pass down what we can.
The traditional owners' concerns about the mining activity in the area couldn't be clearer. And yet late last month, 2 rock shelters at the 46,000-year-old site were obliterated by Rio Tinto to allow for the expansion of the Brockman 4 iron ore mine.
I'd like to say very sorry to the Putu, Kunti, Karama and Pinakura people. You know, this has rocked me personally, and it was never our intent to cause distress.
730 has viewed a survey of the site from 2013. The 2 rock shelters, which were blown up, are marked as having high archaeological significance. The report also notes the gorge area is of high significance to the traditional owners.
We've obviously had some misunderstanding. We thought we had a shared understanding of the future of the caves, that they would in fact be mined as part of our normal mining sequence.
The blast has reignited debate about a controversial legal loophole in the WA Aboriginal Heritage Act, known as Section 18. It allows mining companies to apply to the Minister for an exemption to damage Aboriginal sites.
The way the Aboriginal Heritage Act works is that it provides a process for licensing the destruction of Aboriginal heritage.
Even though an archaeological dig confirmed the significance of the site, Rio Tinto used a Section 18 exemption to destroy the rock shelters. Under the process, traditional owners don't even have the right to appeal against decisions made.
The only party who has an appeal right is the mining company or the developer who seeks the consent to destroy the site.
People are hurting about how did this happen, and we can't go back, but what we are committed to is learning from this incident and making sure that it doesn't happen again.
So Rio Tinto is at this point saying that the only thing that went wrong here was a breakdown in communications and that otherwise your intention was to destroy a sacred site.
Our intent was never to cause distress to traditional owners. As I said, we went through a comprehensive process, ultimately resulting in a government approval with the full knowledge of traditional owners about excavating the site with the intent that we would mine through the site.
At what point does Rio's mine expansion come at the cost of Indigenous history and the value of this site?
Well, like I said, clearly we had a lot of consultation with traditional owners.
Clinton Walker is a Ngalama traditional owner who knows the rich history of ancient land in the Pilbara well.
I know it's quite old, it's at least a few thousand years old.
He stumbled across this carving of a dugong on a rock at Cowrie Bay near Karratha while showing 730 around.
When I see that there, that's I feel a lot of pride, you know, about my own culture. And then I find out when, you know, these companies destroy this sort of thing, they're destroying our history. Not just as Aboriginal people, they're destroying Australian history, you know, and human history.
Clinton spent 8 years working at Rio Tinto to improve its understanding of Aboriginal culture.
You know, I thought they were serious about these things.
He wants a moratorium to prevent any more sites being destroyed under Section 18 while the Act is being reviewed.
If they're going to abolish that particular part of the Act, they need to not destroy any of their sites and leave them untouched.
But Western Australia's government has ruled that out.
We won't be doing a moratorium because I think that would simply cease activity, whether it be main roads activity, for example, that doesn't have any contention, or even just local governments putting in work around rivers and creeks.
Both the WA Aboriginal Affairs Department and the Office of Federal Indigenous Affairs Minister Ken Wyatt were warned by traditional owners that the blasting was imminent.
Well, their lawyer contacted my office. They were given advice as to who to talk to.
Do you wish that your office had done more to intervene in that instance, and why didn't you do more?
Well, the office did the right thing, did provide all the advice and the people to talk to. And that was the important step. We will also work very closely with our Prime Minister's office to ensure that we do not have a repeat of the destruction of any Aboriginal site in this country.
Rio Tinto says it will review what happened and support traditional owners in their push to change the law.
When you lose a site, they've gone forever. You can no longer use it, you can no longer learn about it, you can no longer visit the site, and you can no longer practice the culture, the heritage of that area. It's irreplaceable.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.